After House Republicans voted to repeal the Affordable Care Act and replace it with the American Health Care Act, a bill that would strip millions from their health insurance, it is now up to the Senate to determine whether or not Obamacare lives or dies, and before they even vote on it, grassroots activists have spoken out against Senate Republicans and have put pressure on them to not pass this bill, because it would be an unmitigated disaster. Now, at a luncheon in Nevada, a grassroots activist named ShaeAnn showed up to attend a luncheon with Dean Heller, and she let him know what's at stake and what would happen to her if he does, in fact, go along with his colleagues in the House and vote to repeal the Affordable Care Act.
Do you understand that I will die if the HCA,
How about more listening?
Do you understand that I will die? Do you understand that my life is on the line, Senator? My life is on the line. The ACA saved my life. HR 676 is the way to go. HR 676.
Answer her question.
So you're trying to make payroll. You're trying to recruit good employees.
My sister, my
You're trying to market your business. You're trying to pay the rent.
do you get
And it seems like the federal government, instead of helping you, is constantly putting up more roadblocks in the form of fees, taxes, regulations that inhibit your success.
So to me, that was one of the most angering videos I've seen yet out of all of the town halls that I've watched, because as she's sitting there telling him if he votes to repeal the Affordable Care Act, she would die, there are people in the room booing her. What is wrong with you? What would possess you to boo her? I mean, people who are voting for Republicans like Dean Heller, do they not have any empathy for other human beings? Can you not sympathize with the suffering of others? Or are you that selfish that all you care about are more tax breaks that the Republicans continue to give you? I mean, that was sickening. To every single person that booed ShaeAnn, you should be ashamed of yourself. Now, what she was pushing for was not just for him to not vote to repeal the ACA, but she also told him that HR 676 is the way to go, because a Medicare for All system would make sure that nobody in the country dies if they don't have health insurance. And if you think that her getting thrown out was the end of it, it wasn't, because she still confronted Dean Heller yet again.
I do know that the ACA has its flaws, but it has also saved my life. So my question is why will you not support HR 676 when it is mathematically proven to be cheaper than the AHCA and the ACA?
Well, first of all, I'm not familiar because I'm not in the House. You just talked to me about
That doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I'm not in office, and yet I do know about this bill.
We have the AHCA that's come over from the House, and we're taking a look at it.
And what do you think about it?
I've been very clear. I think you know my positions on that, and that is that I do not support it in its current form. And we have to make sure. That those in Medicaid states,
So what do you
like
think about
Nevada,
single payer?
like Nevada. I'm not for social medicine. I'm not. In fact, I
That
don't
doesn't
think
make any
affordable.
sense when we treat our fire department that way, we treat our police department that way, we treat our schooling that way, but we don't treat our healthcare that way.
No, we have public employees that have their own healthcare system, but I want a strong
Yeah, that's single
private
payer,
market.
payer,
I
sir.
want a strong
Have you
private
done the
market.
math?
Those that can't afford it, should be able to get their healthcare through Medicaid. So expand Medicaid, but let's
Or
make
what
sure
about
that
Medicare for
there's
all?
a healthy private industry out there.
Yeah, what about Medicare for all?
If you qualify, absolutely.
No, the Medicare for all is just that, Medicare for all.
Well,
Or
if you
why
already
why
have
won't you
private-
be
if you
for
have
that?
If you have private care,
I'm on
why would I
disability.
want to qualify?
Okay, and if I lose my disability because I am in a high risk insurance pool, you have to understand that me standing here and looking well.
You and I are on the same
Hold
page.
on, please don't
You and I
interrupt
are on
me.
the same
Please
page.
don't interrupt me. I am telling you that I could die if for whatever reason they deem me healthy enough. Okay?
I don't want that to happen.
So with that being said, Medicare for all. There's a young lady.
Medicare or Medicaid? Which one are you talking about?
Medicare specifically.
Okay.
The Medicaid expansions have
Well,
helped.
Medicare, you want to take the seniors' health care away from them and put
No,
everybody
you are
else in
putting
it?
words in my
Or
mouth.
do you want to?
You are putting words in my mouth, sir.
Medicaid?
I want
Because
no. I
Medicaid
want
is for
to.
the
I want
poor.
Medicare for all.
Medicaid is for the poor.
And Medicare will cover everyone, healthy, sick, old, young. Do you understand? I'm sorry, excuse me, I'm not trying to be condescending. But what I am telling you is that Medicare for all is the way to go, and I need you. I
That's
need
an
you
opinion.
to.
That's
No,
an
I need you
opinion,
to
and I'm
educate
listening
yourself
to you.
with HR
I'm listening
676.
to you. I'm listening to you.
I'm very sorry, Senator. We're going this way. We've got to go. Sorry.
Thank you for your time.
Sorry, ShaeAnn, but you were making too much sense, so Dean Heller's handler had to come and save him because, you know, you were putting a congressman in his place. So, what frustrates me about that clip now is the fact that he was playing dumb because she brought up HR 676. And yes, he is correct that that's a House bill. However, there's a companion bill in the Senate, which was introduced by Bernie Sanders in 2013, and he's going to be reintroducing it this year. So there's absolutely no excuse, and what's frustrating is that that Senate companion piece, S-1782, there's not a single co-sponsor, not even Elizabeth Warren or Jeff Merkley co-sponsored Bernie Sanders' bill. So when he reintroduces that bill, if they don't co-sponsor it, we will be calling them, and we will be relentless, because there's no reason why so-called progressives won't get on board with Medicare for all, and it's not an issue that we are willing to negotiate on at all. We are not, like, I'm just done. This is the one issue where if you don't support it, I don't support you. You will not get my vote. You will not get any money from me or other grassroots activists, because this is a non-negotiable issue. Your lack of support for this is inexcusable at this point. So let's talk about what he said, though. He said, "I'm not for social medicine," which was one of the dumbest things that him and Republicans continue to say. Because ShaeAnn made the point. We treat our fire departments, police departments, and school systems that way, so why don't we treat our healthcare that way as well? And this argument about socialized medicine, there's absolutely no merit to it. The only reason why Republicans continue to invoke this tired argument is because it's an easy way to shut down debate. Oh, you're not in favor of socialized medicine? Okay, well then I guess I can't push the envelope with you. Actually, that's not going to work anymore. And when you consider the fact that a plurality of Republicans support Medicare for all, you're not going to be able to weasel your way out of debate by citing socialized medicine and the big socialist boogeyman. It's just not an argument that will resonate with anyone anymore unless they're idiotic. But as we all know, Americans are waking up, and we're paying attention now more than ever. So if you think you can get away from talking about Medicare for all because you invoked socialized medicine or the big government boogeyman, it's not going to happen. We're still going to put pressure on you. Now, think of the other sleazy tactic that he used here. He said, oh, so if you want Medicare for all, then you want to take seniors' healthcare away. Yes, that's exactly what she said, Dean. She said Medicare for all, except for seniors. Because, of course, when we say Medicare for all, well, I mean, it's only natural for us to exclude seniors from that discussion. When we say Medicare for all, we're not literally meaning Medicare for all. We're meaning Medicare for everyone who's not a senior. How dumb of an argument is that? We all know that you know that's not the point that ShaeAnn was making. So you're just being disingenuous there. And again, these tactics will not work in 2017. Maybe 10 years ago, this would have been persuasive to some people, but we're not taking no for an answer anymore. So what we need to do now is, well, you know what we need to do. We're going to be calling up Dean. We're going to tell him, one, to vote no on the AHCA, and we're also going to tell him to support Medicare for all. Because if he doesn't, then he will be primaried and he will lose. So his office number is 202-224-6244.
Thank you for calling Senator Dean Heller's office. Our office is currently closed and will reopen the next business day at 9 a.m. If you would like to leave a message for Senator Heller, please leave your name, mailing address, and message, and we will be sure to pass it along. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.
Hello, this message is for Senator Dean Heller. First of all, I want to let you know that when the vote for the American Healthcare Act comes up, which is a tax cut for the rich disguised as a healthcare bill, Dean will be voting no on that. There's absolutely no room for negotiation there. He will be voting no on that, or his constituents will be voting no on him come time to primary him. So that's something that he needs to understand. Voting for this tax cut for the wealthy and repealing the Affordable Care Act is not acceptable. Second of all, it's time for him to join the rest of the country, the majority of the country, a plurality of Republicans who are supporting the idea of Medicare for all. His scare tactic about socialized medicine, it's no longer persuasive. He needs to get on board with Medicare for all and show to us that he's not a corporate puppet of his health insurance donors and that he's willing to fight for what's right. So he needs to either get on board or get out of office, because we're done with politicians who want to represent their donors over their voters. That's not going to stand anymore. So it's time for Dean to get on board on the right side of issues. So again, vote no on the AHCA, vote yes on Medicare for all. And just to educate him real quick here, S-1782 is the companion bill to H.R. 676. Bernie Sanders introduced it. It would bring about a Medicare for all system. Support it or get out of office. So that's basically all we have to say. And look, the reason why I continue to do these calls is because a lot of you have given me a lot of good feedback and said, look, this gives me more confidence. When I see you call, I know what to say now. And look, there's really, what I want to stress is that it doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to word it, in the best way possible. You just have to get the point across. And I think that that's really all that matters. They know it doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to be, a 3-minute message. In fact, I think if you could be more concise, unlike me, your message would probably be more powerful. So, look, please, we saw how ShaeAnn fought for us there. Let's fight for her. Let's call up Dean Heller, let him know to vote no on the AHCA, and while we're at it, let your senator know that they have to vote no or we vote them out of office. It's as simple as that, because if they vote in favor of a bill that would lead to people dying, there will be hell to pay come election time.
Support this podcast by joining the independent progressive media revolution today at humanistreport.com.